Hey everyone, this is Harry from Hasper TV here with another video. Um, so it looks like Tino Werner is here for Spurs for another year. I have reacted on this on Tottenham Way a bit, but I kind of want to get into more details about how I feel about the move because unfortunately, this shows that the problems lie a lot deeper than people think. So Werner obviously came in last January and was seen by many as a stopgap because obviously Son went off to the Asia Cup and we thought Werner will come in for 6 months. He'll do a job, which he kind of sort of did. He did all right, not much better than that really. And then in the summer, we'll move to someone better. Now, early reports in the summer kind of indicated that because we were linked with Hudson-Odoi, which, bear in mind, he wasn't that much better, but he was at least better than Werner. Let's be pretty honest here. For Hudson-Odoi is younger. He will cost obviously more than Werner, as we've just learned. But being 23, Werner being almost 29 in March, we know who has the highest ceiling. And okay, I'm against signing Hudson-Odoi as well, but at least it would make a bit more sense because at least Hudson-Odoi had some potential to get better. Werner's 29 and if he comes on Spurs on the free after this loan, I don't even know what to say anymore. But some may argue Werner is Ange's signing. And this is basically makes Ange part of the problem at this point because he says he signs off on the players. If you're agreeing to sign Werner, who, bear in mind, scored about 2 goals in like 800 minutes, which is ridiculously poor. As I mentioned before, he's 29, so he's not like a young player who might get better. Like, in Johnson's only thing that's kind of keeping him on side with people right now is the fact that he's only 23. Werner's 29. And just to add on to this, Son extension is going to be triggered till 2026 or 2027, I was reading today. So as a consequence of that, it looks like our left-hand side will not be improved this season. And as we know, Son himself, again, he's 29, 30. He's probably even more on the decline than Werner, but we will probably get more out of Son than Werner, let's be pretty honest. I mean, and some may see Werner as like a squad player signing. Now, as I mentioned before, it clearly proves we're not going to improve the left-hand side this summer. So we can forget scoring goals from the left-hand side really next season. Because let's be honest, most of Son's goals came from when he was playing as a striker. So if we're saying Son and Werner's the middle, we are chasing a striker supposedly. So you're saying Richarlison, who's now staying, is going to sign with someone else. And if we're going to sign another wing, which would very surprise me really, because Kulusevski and Johnson look like they're both staying, so I think it's quite unlikely anyway. So at best, we're going to get a striker. I think in the attacking options now, I don't think we're going to get any other wingers. As I mentioned, Kulusevski and Johnson look like they're staying. They both signed permanently last summer. I can't see Spurs letting them go, and early reports say Kulusevski is going to stay. But at this point, Ange is part of the problem. If you're accepting Werner, just forget it. We're not going to win the title with Werner. Supposedly we're going to be in a title race next season. So some, like I say, may argue, oh, well, he's a good squad player. Well, yeah, because we're comparing to Brian Hill, who barely played last season. And at least Brian Hill, in his defence, compared to Werner, he's a bit younger, so maybe he could get better. But he just doesn't suit the league, in Brian Hill's case. And as for Solomon, it's another discussion for another day. But we're just focusing on Werner in this video. And after his lack of goal contributions last season, and some may say, oh, well, he could be the same player he was 5 years ago. If he was 21 5 years ago, or even 22, I mean, that's a bit of a push, but let's say 21, he was, when he was at Leipzig scoring these 30 goals, say he was like 20, he's 25 now, for example, instead of 29 or 28, I'd say, okay, you could maybe give it one more season as a loan and see how it goes. But this 3-4 year difference does make a huge difference. And the age is not on Werner's side, the age is not on the Son side, on the left-hand side. So we're going to have a problem there from the get-go next season. I don't see Werner increasing goal contributions. He missed I think he has him and Johnson. Unsurprisingly, had the most missed big chances in the Premier League last season. So there you go. Proof is in the pudding. So will Spurs get better with Werner? No, it's just going to be the same old as last season. And the fact he's here from the start kind of means, I think we have the same issues. I don't know how it's going to help us anyway. If we're going to challenge for the title, especially, that's just not going to happen. So I think Ange at this point is part of the problem. If you're telling me that Ange was only offered, say, Werner and Hodgson, Dwight and someone else, and he said, I picked Werner, then his talent ID is really poor. And if you're telling me that some reports were saying that Werner was, and Lacey Levy asked Ange if you want to get Werner done or not, and he was like, yeah, I want to get it done. Like, he was more for it than Levy, which kind of really, that worries me even more. And if he thinks we're going to win a title with Werner, then this guy's just delusional at this point. And as most YouTubers, well, I was Ange out before this, but as you have seen, many YouTubers have turned against Ange, and I think it's rightly so, because you're just accepting mediocrity at this point, signing Werner. And the club will not move forward. I'm going to say this from now, Poch will be here by Christmas. And yeah, come on you Spurs, and here's to another year of the same old rubbish.